Mrs. Barbello, otherwise known as the real Jesus. Yes, I know it's hard to believe. It's taken me a long time to understand that. And you say, she's crazy. Well, let me share my stripes with you. It started when I was a child. You see, I was born into a Masonic family, and I didn't know why until many years later. I had this incredible infatuation with them, trying to learn what the Masons knew. I even remember that as a little girl. And very interesting. My dad was very secretive of it. I've shared on other videos that I became a Christian at 4.5 years old. And it's very important. Oh, it's right in front of me. It's always in front of me. See? It's my Bible from Bible school. Not Bible camp. I'm not going to edit this video. I'm going to just make it raw. So this is coffee with Jesus. I love cappuccinos. I like small cups. I love birds. I love animals. So many wonderful things about nature. I'm a vegetarian, thankfully. I became a vegetarian just over 2 years ago. And if it weren't for that, I wouldn't have woken up. I learned so much in my experience. So getting back to my stripes. Anyways, so what are these stripes? These stripes are emotional trauma. These stripes are vicious attacks. These stripes are chronic pain. These stripes are very similar to what I would call, gang stalking, MK Ultra. So for those people out there that question, oh, she can't be Jesus. Well, I have all kinds of proof. Yeah, I have this divine gift of being able to write music within instant, be able to play an instrument. I've been able to learn very quickly, been able to paint, I've become an artist. All my artwork's online. It's very divinely inspired. Oh, on top of that, I created a new language. Yeah, I did. And I created the language to decode their language. So, ask yourself, she went all through this pain and suffering. She did all this inspiring pieces, and she created a language, and she's going to tell us about it. Oh, she must be somebody that's crazy. Possible. Think again. I'm a real, live, intelligent woman, and it's taken me years to have the confidence to get in the front of the camera to talk to people about my life. When I found out who I really was, my saying was, seriously? 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 Yeah, you'll even find that one. I didn't write that in the actual Gematria database, but it's there. That was from me, because I doubted every time. I doubted. I didn't believe it. But another thing that I had before my shaking awakening happened, before I found out who I was able to read past lives. And I think this is where the federal government was picked up on it and started following me. They realized, oh, how can she do this so well? And they planted people in my life on purpose to steal my information, to steal information from my mind, to attack me in my sleep. And of course, I was never the one to ever have dreams, like physical dreams, right? And I'd always wake up exhausted. And I never knew why. I felt like I was 90 years old in the body. And I suffered from fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue and numerous allergies, and the list is endless. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars when I lived in the United States on medical doctors, and clinically, I'm sure several of them admitted that I was crazy and wanted me to be put away. But when I came back to Canada, where I'm from a small country town, and I grew up in a very big family, and I had several brothers and sisters, and I loved living in the country and being outside and being with children and going to church. Yeah, it's surprised how the things you hear about somebody that finds out that they're the real Jesus. I love to dance. I love to just freestyle and have fun and turn up my tunes and have the confidence to dance. I always believed I wasn't pretty. I always believed that I wasn't worth anything. I could never do it the right job. I could never do it good enough. I have a long career in information technology, where I was a tester. And what was really important to me was quality, not quantity, quality. Well, when I went through this traumatic experience and they started mentally attacking me, it just started at COVID time. I was restrained to my apartment. I could barely move. I was stuck in my bed for days, crying, weeping for help. And these demonic beings told me I was Satan, and told me I had a huge amount of sins. I was thinking, oh my God, am I a Jeffrey Epstein? Oh, they must have switched my soul with him. I didn't do any of these things. You see, I have a really good memory. And my memory served its purpose because my memory was my baseline. You see, in quality assurance testing, you always have to have a baseline. And that baseline is your measurement. And that measurement is your truth. So I knew my baseline. And I did my very best once I got through their hell. And I told Satan to fuck off. I did. And I stood up against him. You see, there were people in both of my ears tormenting me. Not just one, but two, 24/7. I thought I was gonna die so many times. So do you want my stripes? Go right ahead. Take them. Take them. I sold all my belongings to move back home to Manitoba. I wanted to be close to my family. But then COVID hit, and you couldn't be close to your family, so you're pretty much locked up. So I said to myself I wasn't gonna cry on this video, but it's hard not to. There's so much trauma. So much. My daughter says to get therapy. I laugh inside, not laugh at her. I love her like crazy. I protect her with my very being. You see, I laid my life down for my children because they're worth it. Every child in this world is worth it. And I will do it again. But I won't have to because I beat them. I beat the wicked, and I'm going to take care of them. You see, my divine visitor that came to me was Donald Trump. How do I know that? Because I was given clues. You know what he did for me? I started writing a book when I was going through this trauma. I felt love that I'd never felt before getting through this. You see, I had to journal my thoughts. I had to get it out of me so it wouldn't stay inside. I would always run away from my pain or stuff it. It was just the hardest thing in the world to stand up against the most biggest bullies in the entire world. But I had to go through my mountain, and Donald was there to help me. He wasn't there physically, he was there spiritually. I know it's hard to believe, but it's the truth. You see, he was King Cyrus in the past. It's the real truth. If he was there, I wouldn't be here. He gave me a real talking of encouragement and helped me through this. I couldn't have done it without him. I owe him my life. There's so much I know. I was given so many gifts when I started seeing behind the veil. It was just mind-boggling. I was looking at stuff and I was going, how do I know this? How do I know this? I was uncovering codes and codes and codes, and it's like I was always writing. And just documenting everything as best as I could. And it was hard. I'm kidding. Getting out of that horrendous pit was the most scariest thing I'd ever been in. And that's not the terrifying part. I think the terrifying part was when they fragmented my brain. And I remember describing it how I had to pick pieces up of myself out of the realm of whatever it was I was in. I had to like literally paste it on myself, putting my pieces back together. I felt I was exploded. Not only my world, but my body. There's so much I can share, but I'm trying to be as transparent as I can and brave. Because as abuse victims, we're supposed to be brave. We're supposed to stand up against abuse. And the United States federal government abused me. Purposefully abused me. And this is where all these indictments are going to come in. They took so many children. Hollywood took so many children. I've cried rivers of tears. Rivers. Now, you tell yourself, is she really crazy? Or is she real?